Good morning, Miss Summers. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, I am doing excellent. I'm excited though about this interview about to do with you. Go ahead.
I'm excited too.
Okay. Some of the questions that I want to ask you is basically about who you are and the things that you have done. I know, audience, that we are really here celebrating her book, Abby, I'm a Fish. And so we'll get to that. We'll let the little children ask her questions about that later. But I'm more interested because, again, we're not just here provoke the children, but we are here to provoke you as parents to keep an eye on your child, to watch out for your child, to find out those things that are in a child that you can do as Amani Summers' mother did to her. She noted those things and attributes in her life, and she did not allow those things to go dormant, like even in my life, because I'm really interested in the creative writing process that I started as a child about your age, but never continued to do anything with. So let's begin. How old are you?
I am 10 years old. I just turned 10 in September.
Oh, okay. Anything exciting happen on your 10th birthday?
Well, I did have a birthday party that was based on a TV show, The Masked Singer. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but it was really fun.
Oh, wow. We're going to have to talk about that later so you can tell me how to do that. Later. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm assuming, as you've just said, that you are 10 years old. And when did you start your writing again?
I started writing when I was about 5, 6 years old.
Oh, okay. Very early. Okay. And you were born in the South?
Yes, I was. I was born in Georgia.
Okay, and they're saying nothing good can come from the South. All right, and we have definitely proven that that is not true, that we do have great things coming out of the South. All right. You know what else I was interested in, because I made a blunder. Your name, first name is Amani Summers, not Summers, Amani Summers. Tell me about that. How did you, mom, come up with that name?
Well, I don't know how she came up with that name,
Okay.
but I do know when I was younger, I didn't like Amani Summer, and I was like, I just want people to call me Amani because I don't really like the name. So some people do call me Amani Summer, some people call me just Amani, and some people just call me Summer.
Okay. But you prefer summer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at this point, at least for acting, because let's talk about some of the acting. I noticed that a lot of your acting involved horror movies. How did you get, or thrillers? What excite you for that particular part of drama?
Because I would always see how people on TV were doing it, but I wanted to see the behind the scenes because all you see is scary and just yucky stuff, but I wanted to see the behind the scenes of how they create the film.
That is very interesting. You know, people don't know this, but I was actually in a movie as well in DC, and it was interesting with them showing how to create the blood and how you create scars and whatnot. Have you got involved with that at this point in time?
Yes, I did. They actually put blood on my face.
Okay, all right. It's fascinating to actually see how they do behind the scenes, that we ended up doing it in the movie that I was in. Actually, I just kind of walked across the scene, but it was just interesting to see how involved that they end up coming out with these different types of scars and blood on your face. How long did it take you with some of your scenes to get dressed and the makeup put on?
Well, it didn't take me that long to get dressed, but it did take about 30 to 45 minutes to do the makeup.
Okay, right. And that was very interesting to me. How long did it take them to take it off?
Well, they just put a like hot towel on my face
Okay.
and then wiped it off. So that part was easy, but the putting it on, because they had to have it exactly like it was the last time. So to put it on, it took a long time.
Okay. And that's something I want the audience to know, that sometimes it takes precision. You know, I was even watching a show the other night, The Blue Blood, and I didn't realize that even with the plate of food, that they have to, when they come back with another scene, as you said, it has to be precise, exactly how they move the food around. Did you find that kind of fun or frustrating for you?
No, it was fun because I'm greedy, so I love to eat. So they brought more and more food, and I was like, okay, just bring
Oh,
me some more
okay.
food.
Okay. So you literally got to eat your food. Wow. What were some of the other shows that you actually did on Hulu or Amazon or Disney?
The other shows I have done are Reasonable Doubt, that's on Hulu, and Genius, Malcolm, MLK, and X. That's about Martin Luther Jr. King and Malcolm X, and I play Malcolm X's daughter, and that's on Hulu and Disney.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's turn a little bit. When did you know that you really wanted to perform, be an artist? And matter of fact, let me back up. Let me ask this. What's your favorite part? Because you are so creative and dramatic. What is it that you really enjoy doing the most?
Dancing. I love dancing. I'll just like not even hear music and start dancing. Like I just love dancing.
Okay. So it's sort of like in your spirit, so to speak. Okay. So that's how do you come up with your choreography, your dance moves?
Well, I just do whatever my body feels like doing and whatever
Uh,
comes to mind.
okay. You're going to have to talk to my body because my body doesn't do what I'm thinking. I have two left feet. So it is interesting to see that. Wow. And you also sing, I understand.
Yes, I do sing, but I'm still working on my vocals.
Oh, okay. So are you taking classes at this particular vocal?
No, not yet, but we're looking to enroll in a vocal school.
Okay. So, like I said, I am really impressed with your mom. How did she begin to get you to even get involved in the drama, the music, the dance, the community? Tell me what motivates mom and you to do these things.
Will God, because He gave me the talent and He provided my mom with everything she needs to continue my journey. But my mom does not make me do anything. She tells me always, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. All you have to do is go to school and go to church. Everything else is optional.
All right, great mom. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what is your favorite subject in school?
I would say math or social studies. I like math because you can tie it in with anything, but social studies is my highest grade because I feel like that's really easy for me.
That was for me too. I love studying about history and whatnot, as sometimes the church people will see, tell me about me. So that is great. So social studies, you'll always know how you can improve your future by looking at your past. So great inspiration. You said God gave you these talents. When did you bring God into it, even though it sounds like you might have been forced to church like some of the others with that? How did your relationship with the Lord grow that you knew that you wanted to give God your talents?
Well, because of my mom, she always is telling me to pray. She always prays. And I just went to church and I enjoyed it. And I just went from there and knew that God was my savior. And no, and I knew that He gave me the talent. And I have to trust Him to make my path. And I have to make sure my path aligns with His path.
Oh, wow. 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 Ah, so you know he was your savior, you said. And but the other thing that I really love that you had to make sure that your pathway aligns with his pathway. Now, can you tell even some of us old folks how we do that to make sure we stay on the right path?
Well, you just have to pray about everything before you do it because God is going to provide everything you need. So all you have to do is pray and then step out on faith and take action.
Did we hear that, audience? So, in all our ways, we have to acknowledge God, and we do that through prayer. And then I heard you said that we also have to trust God. We have to move out in action. And in all our ways, we have to make sure that He's getting credit and He's leading and guiding us. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Oh, wow. So, audience, we got a recipe of how we can be successful in Christ. Does this only pertain to church or does it lead into your natural life?
It leads into my natural life. I always start my day with doing my devotional, and I also pray before I do an audition. I actually prayed before I came here that God will give me the words and the ways to do this and that I can inspire other kids and do what He has in store for me.
Wow. So it sounds like to me that you can't necessarily you can't separate your natural or job or school life from your spiritual life. It seems like they mesh. Am I correct in hearing?
Yes, because I can do nothing without God. I have to do everything with Christ.
Wow. 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 I love it. I love it. Wow. And I know you said that you, and again, you're going to have to talk to my body to line up like yours, but you said you love dance. How did you end up creating Google Slide or your first music?
Well, it's actually a funny story. So, I was sitting at my desk working on Google Slides, and I always am coming up with songs and just catchy little songs. So, I just started singing the hook to Google Slide, and my mom was like, "Whose song is that?" And I was like, I created that." And she said, "You did? Well, that's a silly song, but it's very catchy." And then we got with my mom's friend who is a songwriter, and I created the song Google Slide.
Wow. 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 And I understand what, it's three songs you've now created?
Yes, three full songs, and then Storytime with Summer is a short little clip for my YouTube channel. So that's not a full song.
Okay. With that, I know you started off with a partner and then you went out on your own. What caused you to go out on your own, or what gave you the confidence? Because a lot of times we have ideas and things, but we don't have the confidence or mom to push us. So, what motivated you to kind of move out and do your own thing?
Well, when my mom's friend helped me with three songs, I was paying attention and learning. So he was busy And my mom and I decided to go ahead and write this song ourselves. So I came up with the lyrics, and then my mom just tweaked some things and said, okay, maybe change this to that. But yeah, that's how I got the confidence, and I have a very supportive mom, so that's where I get most of my confidence from.
All right. Wow. Wow. Parents, I hope you're understanding the seriousness of your support with your children. And even this question, because with my nephews and whatnot, have you ever started things and stopped, or did mom continue to make you, if you started something, at least for example, if you started, you wanted to play basketball, she made you finish to at least to the end of that season, even though you knew that you didn't want to be a basketball player?
Not with any of the things I do now, but she did make me do that when I was playing soccer because I was young. When I was like 2 or 3, I was like, I want to play soccer. I want to play soccer, but I wasn't old enough. So then when I got in soccer, I said, I keep running and running and I can never get the ball. I want to quit soccer. And she was like, well, you're going to finish this year and then you can do something else.
Okay. Okay, so, and I asked that question because a lot of times we start things and we stop. And sometimes we find out later on that we really enjoy doing it if we would just finish it. But many times as people, we just stop in the middle of things. That was one of the reasons I wanted to know, was you in a position that you ended up stopping something, or mom says, no, you got to finish this up?
Not with acting or my book or anything. She encouraged me to keep going, but she said, if anything's too much or you don't want to do it, let me know because I have a busy schedule. So she tells me if anything's too much, let me know, and I will say no to some things.
Okay. So, for example, give me a typical day of yours. What does your typical day look like?
A school day or like a weekend day?
We're going to do both, whichever one you want to start with.
Okay, so for a school day, I'm homeschooled, so that works perfectly for my schedule. I usually wake up, eat, do my schoolwork, get that out of the way. I most of the time have an audition to do or two. So I do the audition, then I kind of relax, and anything else I have to do after I relax, I do that. um, and then I just go to sleep. That's mainly what a weekday looks like. And then a weekend, it kind of depends on the weekend because some weeks we're focusing more on music. Some weeks we're doing something for my book. Some weeks, weekends, we are just relaxing. We're like, we're not doing nothing this weekend.
How well do I know that? Fantastic. I read again concerning you that you are involved in your community. Talk about your community projects that you do.
Well, right now, I am doing a Christmas toy drive for 2 kids in foster care and one mom and her daughter in a homeless shelter, and I'm giving toys to the kids and supplies to the mom. That's one thing I do. But also for Christmas, I make cards to give to a nursing home, and it's an annual thing. I do it every year. And Valentine's Day, I make candy bags for another nursing home.
Okay, great, great. Because you kind of ended up with my next thing. I understand that you do many creative, artistic projects. So again, that's candy, that's making cards. Is it anything else creative that you do as far as with hands or producing an article of some artifact of some type?
Well, I do like to draw and paint. Painting is my favorite thing, and that's really it that I do creative. Oh, one more thing. I just went to a sewing class because I like to sew and make baby doll clothes.
Oh, wow. Impressive. Impressive. I think, and we'll do maybe one or two more questions, and then I'm going to turn it over to the students, or maybe the audience may have something, and hopefully I can remember what that question was that I was getting ready to ask concerning your community and oh, what was my question I was going to ask? Okay, let me ask this here. It wasn't with the community. You have a read aloud. This was something I always wanted to do but never did. That you read books. How did you become involved with that?
Well, with my book, it was taking so long for the illustrations. We went through like 5 illustrators. My mom didn't want me to get discouraged, and she wanted to get me to do something else while I was waiting for the book. So we had the idea to start a read aloud channel. And on the read aloud channel, I read books, I go on book adventures. An example of a book adventure is I read a strawberry farm book, and then I went to an actual strawberry farm. And the read aloud channel helps because once I got that platform, I can promote my book on that channel, and it's really fun.
Yeah, that was a question I wanted to bring back that I forgot. Because I understand you also read books so that you can actually go to these places and actually experience some of the things that you read. Is this correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so what is your most dramatic place? I think that was the word you use, or most favorite place that exotic place that you've ventured to?
Um, can you confirm the question? I'm
Okay,
not understanding.
definitely, definitely. What's your favorite vacation that you ended up going to?
Okay, I liked when I went to New York because I have family there, and I love spending time with my family.
Great, great. Oh, awesome, awesome. Did you get to see anything like the Statue of Liberty, or y'all just kind of low keyed your vacation?
I saw the Statue of Liberty on the airplane,
Okay.
and then I did go to Times Square and visited some other places in New York.
Okay, all right, all right. Thank you so much, Summers. I really wanted the audience to get to know you and all the other things that you did. And so now we're going to fine tune it and we're going to talk about your book that you wrote because that's why we are promoting it. But before we begin that, if there's anyone in the audience who wants to purchase a book because she does have some for sale, Burnett Jameson have cards. If you'll write the person name you want her to autograph the book to, if you'll just raise your hand, she'll make sure that you get a card that you can put the correct spelling of your child or your person name that you want that book to go to. Um, and then at this point in time, some of us have already gotten our books, so we'll make sure that those names get to mom so mom will know. Those who have not paid for books, if you make sure that you see Miss Antoine, am I saying that correct? Okay, if you'll see Miss Antoine, you can give her the money and purchase it. And then the rest of us will make sure that the church handle that. And I think Elder Queenie have already maybe have talked to you about that. Okay, so I think that's the housekeeping rules. So now we are going to begin to allow the kids to ask you some questions about your book, Addie, and then we'll let you do an excerpt from it later, unless you want to do the excerpt first.
We can go ahead and let the kids ask questions.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So we will start off. Who wants to start first with your questions? All right, come on.
Do you actually have a pet named Addie?
Well, my pet fish died, but I did.
Where did you get your inspiration from?
I got my inspiration from my mom because she told me to write because I needed to do more writing. So when I planned the story out, I decided that I wanted to make a real book. So then she helped me do what needed to be done to get it like that.
Who else is going to answer a question? It doesn't have to restrict to the kids. Whomever got questions, please ask.
Hello, love. Listen, I know a lot of times inside of school, reading is so important. Can you please explain or like how important is reading, especially reading at an early age, and how that is so fundamental, starting kids off reading and then that helps them even inside of life and even choices. So can you expound on that a little bit more?
Yes, I can. Reading is absolutely important because anything you do in life, you have to be able to know how to read. And I know that sometimes reading may seem challenging and hard and you don't want to do it. It may seem boring, but you have to find the right book for you. And when you find the right book for you, you'll get interested. I know I like the books that seem like TV. I'll read them and I'll be like, oh, I can't wait to see what happens next. So you have to find the right book for you. I know for school, they make you read books, but outside of school, you still have to read. And you have to find the right book for you that will make you want to read.
And let me make sure you have to find books that you enjoy reading, and in turn, that will make you want to read even more.
Yes.
I love that strategy. Thank you.
Hi, sweetie. I wanted to know, I'm an educator and coach, and I'm always looking for ways to keep the children I coach interested in reading. What would you suggest would be a few things I could do to help encourage them and keep them interested?
I would encourage you to make reading fun because if it sounds boring, then kids are not going to want to do it. But if the teacher makes it really fun, that will make kids want to do it and can't wait to go to school to learn about reading. Even in your homes, you can't wait to get home to read some more of your book. So that's the tip I would recommend for you.
Anybody else? And you also want to make sure and find books that the child is interested in.
I wanted to know, what do you like about being homeschooled? I'm going to homeschool my son, and he's currently sleeping right now, but the information will go to good use.
I love homeschool. It's very flexible for my schedule. So if I book something and I have to go on set to film a movie or a TV show, it's really easy because when I'm not on set, I can just go on and say, okay, let me get my work done. And then when they call me back to be on set, I'm there. So it's really fun and easy for my schedule. And the school I go to, they have it optional where you can come in on some Fridays and you can do different things. Like I'm in news crew, I'm the producer, director, script writer, and sometimes the anchor and reporter. And I'm also in the leadership, in the peer leadership club. That's super fun. We get to help out with events, we get to plan events, and we also get to share information about what we can do to improve our school. So homeschool is really easy for me. I can't tell for every kid that homeschool would be fun, but I know it works perfectly for my schedule.
Sister Mother Shirley?
I wanted to particularly say that there are so many people that are illiterate as far as reading and that nature. Fourth graders can't read at a level of a second grade, and these are the things. But the main thing, parents, you can't wait till school time, send my children to school. That's your job. Starting the whole process, is particular reading and anything else for your child's education, begins at your home from day one. My motto is every day is a learning day. They're 1 year old, you can teach them things. 2 year olds start with things. 3 year old begin to promote them in things, and you'll be surprised at the results. But I was a school nurse, but I kind of got the wing of the school system. Parents would wait around, wouldn't teach them a ABC or nothing, send them to school and expect the parents, the teachers, you teach them, that's your job. It's a learning process, and it got to begin at a very, very early age, as everything else. And so that's why people now are so in school and don't even know how to read in their third and fourth grades and all of those things. You got to start.
Yes, ma'am, I do agree with you. That is one of the things why I enjoy reading, because my mom was, I was reading since I was 1 or 2. So she will always give me books to read on my level. So when I was a baby, of course, baby books, she wouldn't give me a big chapter book, but yeah.
Okay, I have a question. I have a daughter that's near your age, and I want to know how do you separate between your homeschooling when it's homework time and then to do things that you enjoy? How do you separate when it's time to do one thing and then time to do something relaxing?
Well, my mom makes sure that I do schoolwork first. She's like, that's the number one priority besides church. So she makes sure, she's like, you can't do nothing until that work's done. So once I get my work done, then we find time to do the other things that need to be done.
And may I chime in? Sometimes you have to allow that child, when they come home, time to unwind. And so you have to give them that moment of time of freedom to go play, watch TV or whatnot, and set a consistent time. Okay, at 5 o'clock every day, this is homework time. Even if you do not have homework, we're going to read. And again, it could be games. It doesn't have to be anything, in a book or whatnot. But be consistent. But do make sure you notice your child and see whether they do need that break time. Next
Hi.
question.
Yeah. Hi, Amani. So I have a question, and I was just curious, what inspires you to write? Like, what are your inspirations for your writing? Are you inspired to write about things you experience, or like fantasy stuff? Like, what's your inspiration?
I like to tie things that I experience with fantasy. So that's really what I like. And I also like to write poetry. I like the rhythm, especially since I like music. I love the rhyme and the rhythm in poetry. So that's what I like. Did I answer your question?
We did have another audience question. That was, what would you say makes you stand out from the next 10-year-old or 13-year-old author? What would you say that stands out more with you than anybody else that is doing the same thing?
Well, the difference is, well, I don't really know the difference, but I do know that everybody has different paths, and God separates our paths from one another. So I know that you can't try to be like somebody else. You have to be yourself. Look at somebody and be like, I want to be like them. I'm going to do every single thing they did exactly like they did it. You have to, even if you want to do it, you have to pray to God and own yourself. Be who you are, who God created you to be. Don't try to be like anybody else.
Own yourself. I hope we heard that. At this point,
Hold on, I have a
okay,
question.
Antoine.
Hey, Amani, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I have a two-part question. All right, so one question. The first question is, a lot of times when we're fulfilling our purpose, sometimes we get a little fatigued, or we may get a little discouraged, or, um, you know, ask ourselves why, or whatever the case may be, whatever challenge that we have to make us want to stop. So my first question is, what keeps you going when you get though getting to those moments? And two, what are some of your goals as it relates to, the endeavors and all that you're doing?
To answer your first question, when I get to hard challenges, I tell myself, I can do this. I can do it. I never say never, and I don't say can't. Because once you say never or can't, your brain is going to think, we're not even going to try this because it's too hard. But when you come across those challenges, you just have to pray to God, and that God will help you through the challenging times, and you never quit and keep doing what God has given you to do. And to answer your second question, some of my goals is to write another book, to improve my dancing, and in acting, I want to get another recurring role on a TV show.
All right. Any other questions? Okay.
Sorry, not a question, but good luck, and I know you'll definitely accomplish it.
Thank you so much.
Right here.
How old were you when you started acting?
I was 5 when my mom, well, no, I was 4 when my mom got me in an acting camp. And then when I was 5, I started acting and I got an agent. And what an agent does is get the project for me to audition for and pitches me to other casting directors and producers.
Hi, Summer. Who are some of your role models as far as actors or entertainers or performers?
Well, one of my role model for acting is Selena Smith. I love her work, and she's on Nickelodeon. And I don't really have a role model for dance, but I do have a role model for writing books. It's Renee Watson. I love her because she has so many books for every age group, and I want to be like her.
Imani, you said that you like to sing and you like to read. And I don't know what the schedule is. Mommy, look at me. Mommy, over here. Maybe can we hear just a little song that Imani sings?
said you gonna dance to it or just sing? Or both?
Dance to it.
Okay. We'll let you come down in front. She's gonna dance, she said, with the singing. Hmm.
Words.
Okay, you got enough room, or you want to go down there so you can dance? Okay. He'll help you down. Okay. While they're setting up. Okay. Even if you got to come get this one.
What made you want to make a book?
Well, when I started writing, because my mom said you need to do more writing, so I started writing a. I started writing Addie You Are a Fish, and I planned it out, and it was supposed to be just a little story for my mom because she wanted me to write some more. But then I was like, hey, what if I turn this into a real book? And then I turned it into a real book, and my mom encouraged me to do all what's needed for the process of getting your own book.
Mother Davis, you have a question you want to ask? Just stand up. I think we can hear you.
Yes, we did publish it ourselves, but we had help throughout the way. One of my mom's friends does have a book, and she helped us publish the book. And I don't really know all the steps to publishing because I wasn't doing all the steps, but I was included in some of the stuff. So my mom would watch the video or talk with the lady that helped publish my book, and then she would turn it into a kid version for me and tell me what she learned. Hold on. The whole song? It's up to you. What do you want to do? The first verse. Okay. You using a mic or no? Okay. First pray, believer. I own who I am and there's nothing to it. I own who I am and I gotta do it. You should own who you are, cause there's nothing to it. You should own who you are, cause you gotta do it. And looking wild, all they see is me. And I know I'm a queen, but they jealous of me. Don't be just of me or anybody else. Baby girl, chase your dreams, cause you know you a queen, girl. Chase your dreams. Chase your dreams. Shine bright like a diamond. I'm not afraid of a challenge. Be yourself and you better own it. I own who I am and there's nothing to it. I own who I am and I gotta do it. You should own who you are, cause there's nothing to it. You should own who you are, cause you gotta do it. I own who I am. You should own who
Beautiful, beautiful. Hallelujah. Glory. Own who you are. Interesting, interesting. Is there any more questions? Because again, I have some. I'm going to let you do the excerpt now. Any other questions? Okay, you want to go ahead and yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was in a few commercials. I was in a commercial for Adidas, Blue Cross Blue Shield, a Savannah's Children's Hospital, and the Atlanta Vibe volleyball team.
You want to go ahead?
Okay, do you?
However you want to do it.
So when you get your copy of the book, you can read the whole book, but I'm just going to read one page. For the next few months, Summer read books to Addie to help him learn to be himself and follow his dreams. Here are some things you need to know, Addie. Do not be afraid of a challenge, chase your dreams, and whatever you make up your mind to do, you can do it, Summer read. The most important thing is to be yourself and own who you are, she continued. See, Addie, you don't have to do things just to fit in with others around you. Try new things because it's what you want to do, Summer smiled.
All right, great job. Now, many of the children have read the book, our Sunday school children. Why did you have Abby keep trying to do different things, but was stopped by her owner, I guess you would call, consistently?
Addie, I kept making Addie do different things because in life you go through different challenges and want to be like other people. But you don't have to be like other people. It's okay to try things, but don't be exactly like other people. That's why I kept making Addie try different things because and I kept stopping him because I'm like, no, you're a fish. You can only do what fish do. You can't try anything else. You can't be anything else. You can only be a fish. What are you doing? And then me and Addie realized that it's okay to try new things as long as you're not doing it because you want to fit in or be like somebody else. And if you're doing it because it's what you want to do, then you should do it.
And I love that. As you read the book, go ahead, you can give her a hand clap. I'm sorry. It's so interesting because many times people stop us when we're trying. Oh, no, you can't cook. No, let me do that. As grown people and even as parents, we do that with our small children. And so, my question, and I'm glad you read the excerpt out of that book, the one that you did. What do you say to children and even the parents when they find themselves in a bored place? Everything that's suggested, I'm bored, I'm bored. What can you tell us to motivate you?
Well, first, parents, don't make your kids do something they don't want to do with acting and dance like me. I'm not talking about chores, kids. I'm not talking about that. But if you get discouraged, then you should keep going and never quit. But if you don't want to do it, then it's okay to say no.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Out of everything in your book, Abby, because I saw so many messages in there, what is it or what do you want the audience to take away from Abby? You are a fish.
It's Addie. You are
Addie, I'm
fish.
sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
And what I want you all to take away from the book is be yourself. Own who you are. Don't try to be like other kids or other people you might see on TV or on YouTube. Don't try to be like them. Do what you want to do. Own yourself and don't try to discourage yourself because you're not doing what the other person is doing, and don't discourage yourself because you face a challenge. There are going to be a lot of challenges in life, and you just have to rely on God and say, I can do this, and work through the challenge with your parents or close family.
All right. All right. Let's stand up and give Miss Summers a great hand. Thank you so much for this. I guess one final question. What message would you like the world to know about you, about your book, about anything? What is it? What is your mission?
My mission is to use what God has given me to do things that God would want me to do. I'm not doing things because I just want to do it. I make sure it's what God wants me to do, and then I do it.
Okay. And that seems to be the theme. Let's give her another hand.